My name is Lieutenant Chris Caetano. I'm the number 2 on the TR. And what that means in English is basically I'm the Deputy Command Judge Advocate on board the USS Theodore Roosevelt, an aircraft carrier. So my job on board the ship is basically a lot of military justice. We're involved with that, as well as advising the commanding officer, who is the captain of the ship, with regards to the disciplinary process and gifts, ethics, and that sort of thing. Basically, you can imagine as a floating city, you're going to have misconduct, and that's where the JAG comes into play. And we can advise him, the best course of action, or basically what the available courses of action are to help with good order and discipline on board the ship. So anything from someone who doesn't want to show up to work, doesn't want to show up to work on time, to things that are slightly more serious, like falling asleep on watch, which, falling asleep on the job may not sound like a big deal, but when it happens to be your job is to make sure that these gauges and these temperatures are within a certain parameter, otherwise you can have a nuclear explosion, it's kind of a big deal. Just because you're a lawyer doesn't mean that you're not going to be involved with, coordinating with the medical department. You're not going to be involved with the tactical stuff or the shooting. I mean, there's so many different areas of law that you have a role in, and it's constantly changing, it's constantly developing, and you are that cutting edge. You are making the law and you are developing it. And it's really neat because, especially as a junior officer, someone who's new to the Navy, you get a lot of credibility just because of this right here, and you have senior officers who've been doing this for a long time looking to you as a subject matter expert. I would say one of the most memorable experiences that I've been fortunate enough to have with the Navy is to go as an individual augmentee with the Army and be placed in Iraq and serve the country there, advising on the law. But the most memorable part of this would be Christmas in Kuwait, followed by New Year's in Baghdad. It's not an experience you can get anywhere else, and what made it so memorable and so great is the fact that you meet these strangers. You don't know them from anyone else, and you all show up to this training command, and you're getting outfitted with body armor and weapons training and things that you don't typically do as a lawyer. And you form these relationships and you go through these experiences together. And after 2 months of going through this type of training, we show up in Kuwait, we're ready to go. This is the staging ground and climatization before we go part and see each other separate ways in Iraq. And the time frame that we happened to do that was Christmas. So Christmas in Kuwait, you're away from your family, but you started your own family and a new family there, and the camaraderie and the relationships forged during that time, you're going to last a lifetime.